Amici di Nerd Station, benvenuti. Preparatevi a 15 minuti di assoluta cialtroneria. Sì, perché sono riuscito a intervistare l'amico Erick Beck, che ho conosciuto diversi anni fa perché ho partecipato a un suo progetto di Kickstarter per un documentario, Father and Son Run. Erick Beck ora lavora per l'Alterian, che ha curato, tra le altre cose, gli effetti speciali di Zombieland, il secondo film, e ha realizzato i caschi dei Daft Punk. C'è anche un documentario a tale proposito, e ultimo ma non meno importante, la nuova serie di Chucky, che ha debuttato adesso negli Stati Uniti. Come animatore di Chucky abbiamo fatto una chiacchierata. Vi ricordo, per 5 minuti, anzi più, spegnete il cervello perché sentirete delle cose in un perfetto italiano di broccolino. Andiamo a cominciare. Now we are live when we start record. So everything you say to me will I will use against you. Okay?
You got it. I'll try and not talk about any of my crimes.
Oh no. Okay. Here again from LA, Mr. Erick Beck. A long time friend, and since in the Indy Mogul's run, isn't it?
Yes.
He's a producer, a director, a con man, like a conventional man. So not okay. And you have doing quite of things in your life, starting from Indy Mogul. What is Indy Mogul?
Yeah, so Indy Mogul is a YouTube channel, an online community dedicated to low budget, filmmaking and kind of do-it-yourself filmmaking. So we had a bunch of different shows, but probably the most popular one was a show called Backyard Effects, which taught people how to do like low budget, their own special effects they could do in their backyard. And so we did that for a number of years. And it's just a great community. We were able to help inspire a lot of.
You also inspired me for my my little movie, Bianca and the Seven Clones. You can write the link down below when this interview is online.
Yes.
And also, I think that this interview will be transmitted in our channel by Halloween. So it's like a tradition, like Indy Mogul Queen, you know. The special episode that you made in for Halloween.
Oh yes, those are always really fun. Is Halloween a big thing in Italy?
Not so big like in the USA.
Okay. Yeah,
but,
it's coming.
More or less in all the world, Halloween is taking place.
Absolutely.
Let's talk. We have talked about Indy Mogul. Let's talk about your movies and about Father and Son Run. I think that in this movie we will see a side of Erick that is very personal. Is the I could say, sorry for my English. I think it's is a very I could say strange movie. Strange movie is not the kind of movie that a person would expect from you.
Yes.
But I think in this movie we will see the bond between you and your father.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was when we made Father Son Run, you know, I was still right in the middle of Indy Mogul and Backyard Effects. So, you know, very, very busy. And I was a lot of the stuff that people used to see me do with, you know, special effects and zombie makeup and things like that. I was still doing that on Indy Mogul. So I think it is very different. That's probably why I wanted to do it at the time. And, you know, it was very personal. It was about, you know, reconnecting with my father who, you know, I didn't really grow up with him and things like that. And so, yeah, I learned to ride a motorcycle, bought a motorcycle, and then me and my father rode across country together because my father's always been into motorcycles. So we rode from Colorado to New York, where I lived, where we made Indy Mogul. So it was a really great experience. Yeah, it was definitely, I was very young at the time, and I think it was you know, trying to make the film while also have this personal journey. It was very tough. So I think me and my dad always talked about, he was like, let's do Father Son Run 2. And I was like, let's go on a big road trip and not film it. But it was great, and it was just me and two friends that followed us with a car, and then my dear old friend and Indy Mogul co-founder Justin Johnson is the one who edited that, and he's gone on. I think that's the other reason why it's very different from a lot of things I've done, is that Justin, and we started Indy Mogul together. We've been best friends for a very long time. He is an amazing documentarian. So he had made a couple documentaries, but then he came in and helped me edit Father Son Run. And then I think that sort of inspired him, and he's gone on to make a bunch of other really great documentaries.
For example, double digits.
Double digits, yeah. And I helped him film that, which is, you know, follows a very Indy Mogul-like filmmaker, great guy, and R.G. Miller. And then right now he's getting close to finishing his second feature documentary about his parents, and a very unusual job that his dad has. I don't want to spoil anything, but I don't know what the working title is, but it's something like something about nipples.
Nipples.
Yeah. So I've seen some early cuts. It's really great. And so right now he's having meetings with, you know, he's met with Netflix and things like that. So he's finishing that up. So
nipples.
Yeah.
My list of questions. Now let's start with Chucky. How did you get involved with the Chucky season 1?
Yeah.
I think it will premiere from the 15th of October in the USA.
12th.
12th
Yeah,
of October.
Real soon. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, amazing project. Actually, we filmed in Toronto, Canada. I just got back about a month ago. So I was in Toronto for almost 6 months shooting Chucky.
6 months.
Yeah. And that sort of came about where a couple years ago, you know, after Indy Mogul, me and Justin continued to, we started a small production company, and companies were hiring us to make content. Like, we did a lot of stuff for Lego, and, you know, we made a bunch of commercials and things like that. And it was very much, you know, medium to low budget, but where we had to wear all the hats. You know, I was the director, producer, often host, and it was tough guy.
No, coffee guy.
Coffee guy, yes, absolutely. And it was very much feast or famine. You know that expression?
Yeah, I know. You know.
So
foster family.
Yeah, and no, like it was like either you work and you're making a bunch of money, or you're making no money. It was very up and down, and it was very stressful having to wear all those different hats and do all those different jobs. So I decided a couple years ago that I wanted to focus on one thing that I enjoy the most. And, building things, the special effects part of things has always been my favorite. So I made a conscious decision to focus on that. And I ended up meeting up with some guys at this really great special effects company called Alterian. And they were the guys that designed the original Daft Punk helmets.
The Daft Punk helmets.
Yep, with all the lights and stuff. They worked on a bunch of amazing horror movies, and they also did all the Chucky puppets for the last 3 Chucky films. And so when they announced the Chucky TV series, they were able to get that job, and I just happened to start working for those guys right around when Chucky started. So it was a very much right place, right time. And I helped build all the Chucky puppets, and then I went to Canada, and I was one of the puppeteers. So,
which part of Chucky do you animate? The ends, the eyes?
It's a good question. It takes about 6 of us to bring them to life. And
6 person for just one Chucky.
Yep. And I usually was on the right hand, which is fun because Chucky, fun fact, Chucky is right-handed. So whenever he kills someone with a knife, he always uses his right hand. So I got to be the guy that did all the stabbing and stuff like that. So that was usually, I did that, and then I built this really great fully animatronic upper body, and so sometimes I would control that too. So I had it's called Jim Henson called it a Waldo controller, but it's basically a miniature version, and everything you do on the mini version happens on the puppet at the same time, in real time. So it's all electronic. And so I built and designed that, and so I got to control that as well. But it was a really lot of fun. I learned a lot. I worked with a puppeteer who actually was taught by Jim Henson, so it was awesome.
Why we are so scared with dolls? Why dolls scare us?
I don't know. I think maybe because they're everywhere. I mean, there are some dolls that are very creepy, like those old-time porcelain dolls. But I don't know. I think some early filmmakers, just like clowns, like they didn't used to be scary. But I think in films and stuff, someone figured it out. And now we all kind of think they're scary. I think some people thought they were scary, and then a filmmaker thought they were scary, and then they made it so now everyone thinks they're scary.
Final question. In a fight between Chucky and Gary, personally, I put my bet on Gary, because Gary may be more dumb than Chucky, but he's tough. He's tough as nail. Poi and so on. Gary is a good guy. He's a really good guy.
Absolutely, yeah. Chucky,
and he has a lot of experience in Mogul.
Yes, he does.
All the stuff. All the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so Gary's bigger than Chucky, so he has size. Chucky's definitely stabbed more people, and Chucky's definitely smarter. I don't know. I think I might have to give it to Chucky just because he's got more killing experience, and also Chucky has legs. But you'll be pleased to find out right now me and Justin just started working on a podcast, and where we go back to all the old Indy Mogul episodes the Backyard Effects episodes, and we're starting from the very first one and going forward and doing a podcast on every episode and talking about like fun behind the scenes stuff. And we also want to get Indy Mogul fans on as guests to ask us questions. So you're going to have to come on our podcast and talk about maybe for a Mogulween episode or whatever your favorite episode is. We'll have to have you on.
I think one of my favorites is the one when you made how could I say, an astronaut suite.
Oh, right, and I'm floating in space. Oh, that's a good one.
Also, and my second one is the one when you made a Gatling gun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that is definitely one of my favorites. All right, well, we'll talk. We'll have you on one of those episodes. We got a while. That's a little further in Indy Mogul history.
Oh, I'm so glad that we have a little conversation. I'm so glad to meet you in person, and thank you so much for all the time we gave us to us. I put via Skype. I will send you our channel, and you could send me all the link. That you like to appear in this episode.
Okay, cool. And I'll see if I can, if they'll let me. Maybe I'll have like a Chucky behind the scenes photo or something. I'll see if I can share with you, that you can share.
Okay.
I'll ask the powers that be.
Okay. Remember that we are not professional. We don't make money is a no profit thing. No advertising and so on.
Okay, yeah, that might make it easier. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Eric, and Gary. Spin the wheel.
Okay.
Bye. Have a nice time, Gary. Have a nice time, Eric.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.